Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back. This is Monday, and we are on week 8, lesson 15 in science. Today, we're going to take a break from properties, and we're going to discuss build it. And we're going to describe how large objects can be made from many small pieces. Okay, so like we said, large objects can be made from many small pieces. I'm going to show you several pictures. This is a picture of an arch. It's a very famous arch in a national park called Yellowstone National Park. And if you notice, there's lots of little smaller pieces that make up the arch. Now, the arch is the part that goes like this, okay? It sounds like, and it looks very familiar to something that you know as an arc. And an arc happens when you have force against an object. So when you kick a soccer ball, it will go in an arc. Okay, but an arch is an actual thing, and this is an actual structure. So arch does have an arc, but it's an actual structure. Okay, so you notice the idea is that there's lots of little pieces that make up the larger structure. If you notice, this is like a blown up section of this particular arch, and you can see the different pieces that make up the arch that have to support it. So through this whole lesson, I just want you to think about smaller pieces can join together to make up larger structures. I always thought that Norristown had some pretty amazing buildings. I think they're beautiful. I love the what's called architecture. That means the way a building is put together, the shapes. And this is a building in Norristown, and you'll notice that they have arches. This particular building has lots of different features, but they also have features, the features of arches. You notice there's some rectangles also, but these have arches, and that's just a feature of the building. If you go through Norristown, notice all the buildings and all the different interesting architectural features they have on the building. This next picture is called the Watts Tower. Now, you probably know from art class about a mosaic, and a mosaic is lots of little pieces that will make up a larger piece. So this is just a part of what's called Watts Tower, which is a really large, many large structures that a gentleman just decided to make. So if you notice, he has cans in here, he has cups, he has different gems, different stones. He has arches going on here. But again, lots and lots of little pieces to make up the larger structure. Okay, so notice when you're out and about, notice different buildings and what they're made up of. All right. Now, in everyday life, when you like to play, you also take smaller pieces and make them into larger pieces. So we're going to build some things here today. This is called Marble Works, and notice all of the different pieces that are going to make up the structure that we're going to use to run the marble down and see what happens there. Okay, so now we have taken our small pieces and built this larger structure. Okay, so it starts up at the top. This just has different features. It will go in different directions. So I'm going to start taking some marbles and placing them at the top to see where they go. Now I want you to think about the different sections they're going down and understand that each different color is a different piece that is making up this larger structure. Okay, here we go. It's going to get a little bit noisy. I could even take, if I took a piece off, it would change the way the marbles, where they would go, the path, but I'm just taking a smaller piece off of the larger structure, and I can just start it here. And then we'll go down a different path. It's all illustrating that different smaller pieces make up a larger structure. Okay. All right. So this is called Marble Works. I'm sure you've played with marbles and figured out different ways to make them go. So this is just one example of lots of smaller pieces to make a larger structure. Earlier we talked about a mosaic. This is an example. This is a jar that's made up of lots and lots of little tiles. And when you put them together and they're shiny like this and fancy, it's called a mosaic. Okay, so again, lots of little pieces making up a larger piece. Everyday life, something that you can buy at the dollar store, a basketball hoop. All right, it didn't come like this. I had to put it together. The net, the actual hoop itself, the backboard, and of course, the ball. So we have lots of different smaller pieces to make up a large object, a large structure. Okay, so let's revisit our objective. Today we wanted to describe how large objects can be built from many small pieces. And as you saw with our Marble Works, you saw with our mosaic, you saw with our pictures of the arc and the arches and the basketball hoop, that it can be. All right, boys and girls, after this video, you're going to have an assignment. And boys and girls, that assignment is going to be due on Thursday, June 4th by 12 o'clock. And the reason that is this is our last science lesson. You're not going to have another one on Thursday, so this is your last one. So you're just having one lesson this week. So you will have nothing due on Sunday, but everything is due on Thursday. All right, I want to say that I'm really, really proud of you, and thank you for all of your attention, all of the effort that you've shown in your homework and really thinking about science. And that's really what we want you to do, boys and girls. Think about science. Just like matter is everywhere, science is everywhere. Just open your eyes to it and notice. And I hope you can take some of the things that we learned for these 8 weeks that we've been together doing our distance learning, and really kind of apply it and just kind of open your eyes to see and notice and observe, right? Scientists observe different things that relate to science and how maybe you can really get a feel for it, and maybe someday you might be a scientist and you might wind up doing some of the things that we've done in science. Maybe you'll be the next person to discover something. All right, boys and girls, great job, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.